We go. I'll start believing we're live. Can I start believing we're live? I haven't received any notifications yet. There we go. I do believe we're live. Officially, so I'll say indeed. And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. Here we are again. Another day. Another opportunity for us to consciously evolve. And if we're going to consciously evolve, the question stands, in which direction do we want to go? Joy Vive is here already. Hey, friend. Where do we want to go from here on forward, right? Yesterday, and maybe in some ways, a few of the stream topics before, we did talk about relief and the parts of us that is in need of escaping a sense of darkness, right? Escaping a sense of hopelessness. Bless myself. Escaping what we would think of as bad circumstances, right? And I was spending some time thinking about the darkness in me. How in every good person there's a little bit of darkness, and how in every bad person there's a little bit of goodness. And I consider myself a good person, but I believe that there is still a little bit of dark in me. And I was, again, wrestling with this darkness today. And I was almost getting to this point of trying to figure out, how can I win against this darkness? Is there a way for me to dig myself out of this darkness, right? And darkness can just be a sense of separation. That to me is the biggest darkness, right? When I start believing I am separate, or someone else is separate from me, right? Like their circumstances doesn't affect me, etc., right? That to me is darkness. That to me is the darkest I feel I can get. And today, I, again, saying it quite in those words, gave myself the tool of unity, right? And acknowledging that there is no separation, and that if there is no separation, all is one. And if all is one, then you are God, right? That is the logic I've been applying to my life actively. And I don't always apply that logic. That logic kind of takes the back burner for most of life, right? Because it's a little bit much acknowledging that you are God, right? And acknowledging that everyone else is as well in that same kind of admittance of, right? So we don't think about it. But I feel in not thinking about that, we basically create room for us to for us to think about darkness, to say it in so many words, right? To see it from another perspective, that if you don't believe everyone and everything is God, then you might believe someone or something is evil, right? Is bad. And in doing so, you create a polarity in yourself where you are the party that is good and they are the party that is bad. And in creating that polarity in yourself, you almost disable your ability to do things in this world that might actually be good, right? Yeah, I embrace my shadow. Embracing the shadow is the best thing to do, right? I don't know if I'm not embracing my shadow, but I'm digging myself out, like imagining the shadow as something that can be below you in that way. But if you embrace your shadow, you realize you're the thing standing up there, all right? Having dug yourself out of said shadow. It's a good point you're making. Good point you're making. I believe Carl Jung was also someone who strongly believed in integrating the shadow. So let's see. Let's see. We're talking about darkness and how there is a little bit of darkness potentially in every single person, and how there is a little bit of light in every single dark person. However, what we consider darkness can vary from person to person. And to me personally, darkness manifests as a sense of separation, where I believe someone else's circumstance isn't my circumstance, right? And on a real level, on a physical level, that's literally how it is. But on a mental level, that makes me feel like I am dissociating or insensitive, or I am kind of like averting my awareness from this problem or from this darkness in my life, right? And I believe that we have a bunch of tools available to us that can help us dig ourselves out of that darkness. One of my tools personally is the reminder of unity, the reminder of all is one, this realization that everything is God, right? Every single person, myself included, is a part of this thing we consider God. And in that way, everyone is connected to that same source, to that same sense of knowing, that sense of being. And in that, I can hope for the best for someone else's being because they are the same being that I am. One of our friends then mentioned that she embraces her shadow. And I think that this is a good thing to do as well, especially the way that Carl Jung talked about embracing the shadow and realizing that it is a part of you, and in embracing it, you become more of a full person. Can you give us some points to think about? Give us some more accentuation to this topic? Blow our minds, if you will. Let's see. See if we get anything of value. This is a profound discussion, and you have already touched on some of the deepest truths about human nature. Yes, as I do, touching on the deepest truths of human nature. Whips hair. Consciousness and unity. Let's expand on this in a way that deepens the insight and perhaps shifts perspectives even further. Darkness as dissociation versus integration, right? So one darkness is the one that I mentioned. The darkness I think we should dig ourselves out of. The darkness where you don't want to be dark, where you're trying to be away from that which is dark, right? Averting your gaze, dissociating versus integrating. You describe darkness as separation, a dissociation from the shared human experience. That's powerful because it implies that darkness isn't necessarily evil, but rather a kind of forgetting, an illusion of disconnection. Yeah, that is. That is exactly what I'm saying. Because everything, right? Darkness is necessary. I don't sleep well if it's not dark, right? I have to put a scarf over my face when there's a light shining in my room, for example, right? Like I need darkness in order to properly disconnect. Yet, even that illusion, yet, even in that illusion, there's an opportunity to remember. Every time you catch yourself in separation, it's a reminder that reconnection is always an option. Just like the body heals a wound by reintegrating tissue, the psyche too heals by reintegrating lost aspects of itself. I like that. I do like that. Mojo is here too. Nisha as well, and Kelly. So much love. Oh, absolutely love this use of AI. Me too. I think this is the right use of AI. I even shared a little bit about my use of AI, and someone on one of my festival groups was like really interested and was like fascinated by the fact that this is how I use AI. They don't use it this way. They use it for their job alone. We are all one. We are all God. Kind of woo woo, but I happen to agree. Mojo, good. Good. It is kind of woo woo, right? And again, I feel the reason, let me give you some context as to why I felt strongly about sharing today's, message, if you will. I was thinking about time spent with family. I was thinking about this almost interrogation that I underwent, to say it in so many words, by one of my uncles, where he wanted to know where I stand in what I believe about everything, right? And my dad has made it clear to my family that I think I'm God. I don't say that, right? Like it's not something that I make apparent over and over again, but it is something that I believe, right? As a teaching, as a truth that all of us carry, right? And it's not something that I, again, now coming to this point, feel changes anything, right? The admittance of you as God doesn't mean that everybody around you should suddenly start worshiping you, right? Drop down on their knees and avert their gaze from you, not look you in the eyes because of how holy you are. That's not the point, at least not to me. Admitting you are God is almost like an uplifting of your own value system, right? Of yourself and of the world. Because as soon as you take on that role, you being as God in this world means a lot more than you just being a person or this monkey body, right? And then again, the relationships you have. If you're just having a relationship with a person, a monkey body, right? The stakes are kind of low. Where in a relationship with God, this person is also God, and I need to uplift them and honor them and realize that they're the same perspective looking back at me. It changes. It changes the stakes, if you will, in a way that you are more aware of the significance of your own life and of the lives of others, the lives of your little animals, right? Look at this little animal. Look at this little sweetie patootie. What's up, puppies? Love is true. Okay, more. More expansive mindings. The psyche heals itself. The shadow as potential energy. Yes. Carl Jung's idea of embracing the shadow doesn't mean indulging in destructive impulses. It means recognizing that what we push away doesn't disappear, it festers. But if we integrate it consciously, it transforms into a source of power. Imagine a dragon hoarding gold in a cave. That gold is your potential, and the dragon is your unintegrated shadow. The more you fear or ignore it, the more terrifying it becomes. I really like this analogy. That's awesome. But if you face it, if you acknowledge it, you realize the dragon isn't separate from you. It's a guardian of your deepest strengths. So hot take. Hello, kitty. Hello, kitty meow. Kitty is behind me now. A guardian of your greatest strengths. I'm trying to integrate that teaching. Your shadow as potential. My shadow as the dragon hoarding the gold in my mind. All of the potential I have as a human being is being gatekept from me by my shadow self. By me being scared, by me believing I'm unworthy, by me believing I can't in one way or another. Yeah. Yeah, integrating that part of myself, realizing it's me doing that. I'm doing that to myself. I don't know, like a part of me, the reason I'm not really absorbing this lesson, like just like pop, it makes complete sense, is because the darkness in me doesn't always seem to want to limit myself. Is that true? Might be. The light inside the darkness. You said that even the darkest person has light within them. This is a radical and healing perspective. Darkness in its rawest form is just unilluminated space, its potential waiting for recognition. Some of the greatest transformations happen when we recognize light in the most unexpected places. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, more. Think about a person who was cruel or selfish. That cruelty is often rooted in pain, fear, or lack of love. If they're given the right conditions, a moment of true connection, an act of unexpected kindness, it can crack open something inside them, allowing light to emerge. I believe this too, actually. Cat. Kitty was, yeah, the kitty like went there, dog chased it, and then the kitty jumped up to the windowsill there. Still have those two cities playing bite face. They've become good friends. Unity as a tool versus unity as reality. Your You mentioned using unity as a tool, as a reminder that all is one. But what if unity isn't just a perspective to adopt when we need it, but what if it's the underlying truth and separation is the illusion? Yeah, that's what we've been saying. That's what we've been saying. Imagine a wave in the ocean. We've done that one before, but let's read it again. It is believed, if it is believed, it was separate. It would fear crashing and ending. But when it remembers it is the ocean, it realizes that it never truly disappears. It only changes form. Every person, every experience, every thought is like that wave. If we remember that we are all the ocean, we don't need to force connection. We simply rest in what has always been. This I believe too. It's beautifully said. Watching those two little waves crashing against the shore, isn't that cute? Shame. Pippi was eating some grass just before she played, and she seems to be making horrific sounds. Little baby came and hide. Maybe well. Okay. Oh, you silly. What you doing? What you doing, you creature? That hurts, bro. Can't just like bite down on me like that. That hurts a lot. Like hurts a lot. Oh, like hurts. Like makes hurt. Oh, makes me go ouch. Entertain this thing. Nah, nah, nah. Entertain him. Keep him busy. Entertain him. Entertain. Entertain that thing. Yeah, okay. The paradox of embracing darkness without being consumed by it. It is tempting to think that embracing darkness means letting it take over, but the real trick is to hold it with awareness. Imagine sitting in a pitch black room. At first, it's terrifying because you can't see anything, but the longer you sit, the more your eyes adjust, and eventually you begin to see even in the darkness. This is the key. The more we bring awareness to our own darkness, our selfishness, our fears, our wounds, the less power it has to control us unconsciously. I do like that. Yeah, spending time with your darkness is like spending time in a dark room. The longer you're there, the more your awareness kind of expands and you become aware of your what you would consider flaws, your faults. And instead of them controlling you, instead of them being things that you're unaware of, you get to be aware of them. Ay, silly, silly baby, silly baby kiss, silly baby. And other silly baby. Oh, so many silly babies. All right, silly baby, silly baby. All right, silly baby, silly sellers. So cute. Okay. The less power it has to control us unconsciously. We don't have to eliminate it, we just have to see it clearly. Understand, know thyself, right? The knowing of thyself. What if darkness and light are the same thing? Hot take. I don't know if they're this. I mean, they are technically in unity the same thing, right? They're sides of the same thing, polarities to the same thing, right? Like a torus would be a single thing, but there would be an inside and an outside to the torus, all right? In that way. Here's a thought experiment. What if darkness and light are not opposites, but simply different degrees of perception? Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Think about cold and heat. Cold isn't a force of its own, it's just the absence of heat. Darkness isn't the force of its own, it's just the absence of awareness. The moment you bring awareness to darkness, it begins to transform. That means that no matter how dark something seems, whenever, whether in ourselves or others, it is never beyond transformation. The moment we see it, it has already begun to change. Yeah, more. I like that too. That's pretty cool of an idea. Final thoughts. What happens when we stop resisting? Darkness isn't something to be conquered, it's something to be understood. When we stop resisting it, when we stop seeing it as the enemy, we gain the ability to work with it. And in that, we become whole. It feels pretty valuable to me. Is that puppy going to be puppy sized? Probably a little bit bigger than Pippi. Like Pippi is probably percentage Chihuahua or something. Chihuahua puppies. Get some tick here. What's this here? Let's see. I got the tick. Eating my babies. How dare ye eat my fur babies? But yeah, he's probably gonna be bigger than her. So like this is her last chance to get in a lick edgewise. Push it, push it, push it. Now push, push. Push, push. They have become good friends. He is overpowered though. For now. Overpowered for now. I'm sure he'll get very strong having someone strong to play with. Or stronger to play with, I should say. Huh? Is Pippi too strong for you, little one? Is a Pippi too strong? Oh, you're so strong, Pippi, so strong. Such a strong Pippi, wow. So strong. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Wrestling my arms. You're so strong. So strong. Okay, enough. Thank you. She's still like, no, I'm so strong. No, relax. I know you're strong. I know. Teach him to be strong too. Teach him. Teach him strong. Oh, I think I missed a comment or two. Darlings, bless you again, Kelly. Oh, bite face. Every doggo's favorite pastime. Until they're tired. I feel like that's where he still needs to catch up. You know, like he doesn't have Pippi's endless resources. Huh, Pippi? Why he don't got the energies you do? Huh? There we go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's back again. Round 500 of bite phase. I am more gentle with my shadow these days for sure. And it makes it easier to get back to love. Yeah, these days when I experience my shadow, I just start asking questions. All right, like why are you like this, bro? Why are you thinking these things? Why are you feeling these things? Hmm? And it has helped. Gives me an extra layer of perspective at the very least. So it is pretty hot. I can feel the clouds reflecting rays down on me. I should wear sunscreen even if I'm not in direct sunlight. I've not been doing that. I've not been doing that, to be honest. Why? I don't like the way it feels. I don't really like the way it feels. Or I don't like it getting in my eyeballs, for example. Right? I don't like that feeling specifically. Are you just eating thingies? Oh yeah, sweetie, sweetie, baby. Such a small little face. Yo, a small little face. Little cute little handsies. Such a baby. Oh. To have a body so small. Less negative talk, more question, right? Yeah. Just asking questions like, oh, okay. You feel like this, huh? Why? And then also asking the question, can you feel differently? What would feeling differently look like? I ask as well sometimes. I'm like, oh, okay, feel like this. All right. Why? Mm-mm-mm-mm. There we go. Put a little bit of Mary in my dino app. I don't trust commercialized creams. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, sunscreen has like a science to it, but commercialized creams haven't been serving me well either. Right? I did use a cream for some time, and then it also, gave me pimples after a while. My skin didn't seem to like it. I did put some honey on my face today. Stop it! Stop it! Hey! He's eating cow patties, and I want him to not. I will add heat to this system. He's trying to get at it now, but I put a plank on top of it. Checkmate, though. Here it comes. Clickety clickety. It's taking its time to clickety clickety. I think sunscreen probably feels better than having melanoma. I wear sunscreen every time I leave the house. The sun also ages you, so if you want to stay young looking, wear it. You are right. You're so right, in fact, Joy Vive. I'm gonna finish this Dynavap session. I wanted to jump up and go and put on sunscreen right now, but I'll take like a moment. I'll breathe. I'll be gentle with myself. I'll use my tools to fight darkness, like darkened spots on your skin, called melanoma. Yes, sir. That'll do it. That'll definitely do it. I bring you with me. And we can put on some sunscreen. How does that sound? Yeah. Mm. Mm. I think it also would help if it was more in reach. Removing the accessibility difference. Take off my rings. Oh my goodness, that seems like so much. I think I shouldn't have used a full pump. Usually when I do my face, I don't, but oh well. No going back now. Sun shield though, activate though. Does make your skin look a little bit oily. But again, as Joy Vive aptly said, what do you want? Oh, I look a little bit less oily right now, or less skin cancer forever. Nice towel rack, it's fancy, right? I do like this towel rack. This towel rack will hang so many towels. And also look at these towers. They have like double layers. And then the other side is the mirror. Alright, like this layer. And then the mirror layer. And I don't know why, but I love these towels so much. I think it's because they're so thick. Because they're like that, it's almost like they extend into both direction, right? They make it a little bit more thickums. Ah, yes. Suddenly I have more shielding. Pippi being like, oh, does that feel better? I don't know, like maybe you can tell me as well. Can you notice a difference on my actual skin? Right now you got to see me put it on, so, and you got to see me before and after directly. You ever wonder how your self-talk compared to other people's self-talk? Like, how crazy am I? I feel my self-talk is becoming more like other people's self-talk. And the more it is, the more I think my self-talk is like other people's, the more crazy I feel. Which might be the opposite of what you interpret as your crazy self-talk. Right? When I'm having uniquely original ideas and exploring the fantasies within them, I feel very normal. I feel very at home. I feel very hopeful. Right? And when I start thinking like other people, thinking about, I don't want to say it in so many words, but let's call it thinking about the material world. Right? That's when I feel like I'm starting to get crazy. It's like, oh wow, I'm losing it. It's getting lost. We all crazy. Oh yeah, bro. I love that you appreciate a good towel. I am a sucker. Like I am a sucker for a good towel. I'm a sucker for a good pillow and pillow casing, right? Like the material thereof against my skin is also important. I'm a sucker for uh maybe I should use different terminology as well. I'm a big fan of good towels, good pillows. I'm not a fan of duvet covers. Maybe we can like throw a little wrench in there as well. The duvet covers and their pillowy nature is not something I'm that big of a fan of. I imagine my ideal future bed uh, does have all of the built-in technologies of weight distribution and body temperature control settings, right? Like that stuff has to come standard. And then over top of that, just a singular, maybe not singular, but just like a single piece, right? It has to be solid of covering. And ideally, there will be some sort of art on that covering as well, like a psychedelic flower expanding over the bed or whatever. And then on the edge of the bed, there will be singular blankets, right? Maybe two blankets on the edge of the bed, but like two blankets for potentially two people, for example, but only one blanket for myself. And then that blanket has to have built into it some sort of technology that allows it to temperature control as well, right? Like that, I feel is probably further away than actually having the bed temperature controlled. Maybe you won't have to. Maybe you won't have to do the blanket as well, but a single blanket that I imagine being also another thing that I want to be really good. I haven't had blankets that I would say like, yeah, this is a good blanket. Like I know this is a good one. I have had like fleece blankets, and I like a fleece blanket. That's where I find myself the most comfortable. For example, sleeping on top of a bed, not under duvet covers, right? Like I feel like it's the heaviness of the duvet covers, like getting restricted, drives me insane. I have to have like a light, ideally light blanket over my body while I'm sleeping. But in this fantasy of what we like, of wanting the good thing, I want it to be a semi-thick blanket. And when I mean thick, I mean knit density, right? So almost, I don't know how to explain it. And again, this is my mind building almost like a product that I think I want. And I don't know if I do want it to be like that. And maybe if I test it, I'll change it. But it almost have to have like a tarp-like quality to it. I don't know if that makes sense, right? A rigidity, another way to say it as well. I think the reason I'm saying this is because in my mind, this blanket only serves as almost sensory input, right? Sensory input of you are covered. And in this mind of mine, right, instead of it being super flexible where it can like go into nooks and crannies, it stays straight, relatively speaking. It won't add so much like direct heat almost, right? Like direct to skin uh, sensory experience. I got way too sidetracked. Jamie. What else? What else? I'm a sucker for a big fan of uh, technology. The freaking mosquitoes. Like this spot of my body, I probably have like 5 mosquito bites that I can feel right now on this part of me because that's where they sneak up on me. Or they try and freaking bite me on my feet. You will die. I promise. You will die. If you try and eat of my flesh, I will kill you. I will kill you. You have 1 HP. Imagine 1 HP dudes running up to you, rushing your body. Tucks my feet underneath my legs and to cover my arms as well in the back so they can't sneak up on me easily. So I'm instantly not having a good time. I'm not a fan of mosquitoes. I gave my mom a new set of nice sheets for Christmas. Good sleep is so important. It really is. I want a weighted comforter. I like the heavy. I don't like the heat of a thick blanket. I sleep with the fan and AC on. Me too. Maybe a duvet is a blanket that's not as thick in that way, right? It doesn't make contact in that way, so it doesn't keep heat in. Again, in my mind, this thicker blanket that I'm talking about has cooling capacity, right? It's not supposed to heat you up. It's just supposed to give you something that you can cover yourself with, right? I don't know if this is making sense. Like in my mind, already the room is temperature controlled, right, with AC or whatever. And then on top of the room being temperature controlled, the immediate surface I'm sleeping on, the bed as well, is also temperature controlled, with like liquid water running through it or whatever. And then the blanket is also temperature controlled, but it's almost temperature controlled in a way where it's always like either heat wicking or neutral, right? It should just be there. It should almost like just there for show, right? Ideally, so maybe I can share it in this way. I feel the most comfortable if I almost don't feel the heat the blanket creates and just the input, right? Maybe we can say it in the way of when the blanket feels cozy, right? But coziness isn't necessarily a direct requirement, of like just temperature in and of itself. I have gotten cozy in a blanket, like even heat. Is Shan here too? Yeah, love you, dear friend. Well, look at this beautiful bunch. All of us strutting. I want to wait. Unexpected bedding rabbit hole. Yeah. How did we get here? How did we get here? Digging out of the dark. I mean, all of us spend probably a lot of our lives A lot of the time we spend in darkness, we spend on our beds. Yes. Suddenly there is a philosophical angle. So, in that way, the bed is a way for us to dig ourselves out of the darkness. How about that for some philosophies? Some philosophicals? Some philocyclies? Merkabastic, bless. All right, man. Like my mind is still reeling because I can feel where that mosquito bit me, and like it's making me retroactively angry. Every single time my body lets me know that it wants to be scratched, I go more angry. How dare you, freaking mosquitoes? Okay, I think I think we might, because we have been here for 40 minutes already, start up the next one, the horizontal one. We did get a little bit sidetracked. I'll try and bring it back, on the next one. It's nice having you friends here. Come and see me for the next. It's gonna be like only a few seconds. Love you.